What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So for this horror news update, we have some, I want to say, surprising information when it comes to those the individuals who created Stranger Things. Sounds like they're not sticking around with Netflix at this point any longer, which, again, bit of a surprise. I'm not sure what that will do to all the various spin-offs that were supposedly going to take place. Now, I imagine Netflix owns the IP, owns the Stranger Things like property, so to speak. But when you have the creators leaving, it kind of makes you wonder where are they now going to go with bringing in somebody or somebodies to take over kind of like the creative for the future of the Stranger Things universe, or if they're pretty much going to say, I mean, I can't imagine they would say, oh, after we launch and release season 5 over the course of the 3 releases this year to wrap up the original series, that they're just going to stop with Stranger Things. We know that's not true. We've even talked about some of the spin-offs that they're already going to be doing. But again, it makes you wonder, why are the creators leaving? We're going to talk about that. We have an article about that. We also have an update for the I Know What You Did Last Summer Legacy sequel. So for those of you who did not see in theaters, got some news on that. We also are going to talk about Saw, the Saw franchise. So we've got some more information from one of the producers as to, supposedly, based on the headline, exactly why Saw 11 didn't take place, which we had an idea. We covered this when we found out that Saw 11, in fact, was officially canceled. And all we got was an unnamed insider came out and said, well, the two sides can't seem to play together. The two owners who have 50-50 ownership can't seem to get on the same page, and egos got in the way. It got canceled. But then since then, the rights have been sold. Now Blumhouse owns 100% of Saw, so we haven't got any word yet as far as not so much Saw 11 continuing. I don't see Saw 11 continuing. I do eventually see maybe them rebooting the franchise altogether. But if they happen to do a Saw 11, I don't see it being whatever it was going to be. So we have that. We also got some physical media updates as well. Not just for Saw, but for another franchise that is getting its remake, reboot launched here shortly. So let's jump into our first article for this video. So as I mentioned, Stranger Things creators, the Duffer Brothers, leaving Netflix and setting up shop at Paramount. So that's interesting. Of all places to go, I'm surprised it's Paramount. That wouldn't have been on my bingo card as far as that's where they would end up landing. But let's jump into these details, because again, all I did was look at the headline as you're seeing it now. So maybe this will explain a little bit further why they made that decision. All right, so last week's reports have been confirmed, with Paramount officially announcing this week that Matt and Ross Duffer have inked an exclusive 4-year deal with the studio. What's particularly interesting about the situation is that it means the creators of Stranger Things have officially departed Netflix, joining a growing list of creators, including Mike Flanagan, who ultimately ended up leaving Netflix behind and moving to other studios. A strong factor in this decision, it seems, is the Duffers' interest in making theatrical movies. Again, surprising with that. I mean, I think that's something where Netflix has lagged. I mean, they crank out a lot of original content, and I think some of the original content they've put out, I think, would have done amazing on the big screen. And I think that's been a huge missed opportunity for Netflix. Now, I get it. They are wanting to enclose themselves into their own closed loop, so to speak, like their own ecosystem, where you've noticed more and more original content versus other studio content, right? Whether it's documentaries, TV series, movies. I still think, though, it's a missed opportunity on some of their films that I think should be released on the big screen, even if it's for a short period of time, because nowadays films aren't necessarily in theaters all that long. Anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks, if that. Sometimes even only 5 weeks, and then they're pulled, and then next thing you know, it is getting its VOD digital date, and then soon after that, it is getting a streaming date. So I think Netflix, I mean, it's not like they need the money, right? It's not like they have to put things in theaters, but I think there are some of their films that would have probably done well in theaters. But yeah, it's surprising this is the route we're going, and that's the rationale. The announcement comes before the final season of Stranger Things premieres November 26th, with the animated series Stranger Things Tales from 85 also in the works at Netflix. So that was the one I was referring to, was this Tales from 85, because we've talked about that one previously, and that one's in the works. So it makes you wonder, what, if any, did the Duffer Brothers have as far as involvement in that animated series? And now that they are officially gone, if they did have involvement, where does that take that series, right? Because anytime you remove like core creators, someone's going to have a different vision, someone's going to have a different idea of where they want to take things, and it tends to show predominantly because of style, of how the story is told. So I'm wondering how now Stranger Things Tales from 85 will come out in its final iteration. According to THR, the Duffer Brothers will be heading to Paramount when their deal with Netflix comes to a close in April 2026. The outlet reports the Duffers' deal at Paramount is an exclusive 4-year pact that covers film, TV, and streaming projects, with an emphasis on the brothers fulfilling an ambition to write, produce, and direct large-scale theatrical releases, which Paramount really hasn't been doing all that much of, to be honest. So I'm again surprised that they landed with Paramount, unless the money was just too good to pass up, which I highly doubt we'll have any of that information in here. The Hollywood Reporter also notes the Duffers will develop their Paramount slate via their Upside Down Pictures banner, led by President Hillary Leavitt. Quote, "We couldn't be more thrilled to be joining the Paramount family. David, Josh, and Dana are passionate about bringing bold original films to the big screen. To be part of that mission is not just exciting, it is fulfillment of a lifelong dream. To do so at a studio with such a storied history legacy is a privilege we don't take lightly. We're also excited to reunite with our friends Sydney and Matt, who were among the first to believe in us, and an unusual little script we wrote that became Stranger Things. They took a chance on us in 2015, and they're taking a chance again. We can't wait to create new stories together." All right, so then there's just a joint statement here. Let's keep going if there's anything new. All right, so it does say here, Matt and Ross will remain attached as executive producers to all of the above. It's important to note, along with Stranger Things projects, Netflix conjures upcoming for. So let's go back up a little bit. Let's see here. Not only on the upcoming release of Stranger Things 5, but also on the shows we are deeply proud to be producing, including Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen and The Burrows. So, and we look forward to building out the future of Stranger Things together. There are many stories to tell beyond. So, sounds like then they are staying involved with Stranger Things. That's interesting. I'm surprised that they would allow, to honestly, I'd be surprised that they're even allowing that to happen. If they have an exclusive deal with Paramount, that they're still going to work with Netflix to build out Stranger Things. Okay. Maybe there was, maybe there was just something in the contract that allowed them to do that. So, Stranger Things Season 5 poster, and that's it. So yeah, again, based on what I was saying earlier, based on the headline, I would have thought that, somebody, literally when we just talked about the 85 animated series, it doesn't seem like to me that they would have been around to be involved, but it literally says here, and we look forward to building out the future of Stranger Things together. So yeah, that had to have been in the contract negotiations with Paramount and Netflix to say, hey, we're leaving, but we still want to do this. I wonder if there was some give and take there. I wonder if they gave up any percentages on anything for that. So, all right. So yeah, that's the update for the Duffer Brothers leaving Netflix for Paramount, but sounds like they're still going to be involved with Stranger Things. So, all right. Well, we'll have to keep an eye out for this one, but we'll make sure. We're going to be talking about Stranger Things later on this year once these new episodes drop for season 5. So. All right, moving on to our next topic. This one, it's nothing crazy. It's quick. It's gonna be a quick read as I scan through it. I Know What You Did Last Summer hits VOD next week. So roughly 5 weeks since it was released. I Know What You Did Last Summer Legacy sequel did okay at the box office. Yeah, that's putting it lightly. Did okay. I don't think it did well at all. I don't think it did at all what they were thinking it was going to do. I think what they thought was going to happen is exactly what happened with Scream. Scream kind of fell off a little bit, and then when Scream came back, everyone was excited for Scream coming back, and everyone has since been excited. And even the excitement for the next Scream film coming in January of next year, everyone is hyped for that film. I think the fan base for Scream is much stronger than the fan base for I Know What You Did Last Summer. and I've always said this, and it's my opinion, I feel like I Know What You Did Last Summer has always tried to ride the wave of Scream and cash in on at the same time. And I think this was another attempt to do that, and it didn't work out this time, as it didn't work out the last time they tried doing this. But now it's coming to home video, and everyone can make up their minds about this rehashed slasher. It hits VOD on August 26th. When it opened in theaters on July 18th, it took in $12.7 million. After its cinematic run, it came away with $63 million worldwide. That's a good profit over $18 million budget. I've never disputed that. I've never disputed the numbers. However, the numbers don't, in my mind, while that financially is a success, doesn't necessarily mean it was an overall success. Doesn't mean the fans won. I think the fans went towards this like, oh great, we got 2 returning characters, so we're doing this. We're finally getting another film that wasn't the monstrosity that the third film was, that everyone seems to forget about and ignore because it was straight to home video. So they always seem to pass over that one. Again, I think the fact that so many fans went and saw this, it wasn't what they had anticipated. It wasn't as good as they thought it was going to be. So of course, yeah, the people are going to go see it when you think worldwide box office, because they want to know if it's going to be any good or not. Had people, just waited for this, I think the numbers probably could have been a little bit less, because word of mouth traveled, and I think that's also why that number is not nearly as high as they wanted it to be. And I'm talking about the $63 million number. The film is a clear fan service homage to the original film. Yeah, that is absolutely obvious. Even when we first got the synopsis, that was very obvious. Obvious callbacks, repurposed quotes, and a clunky plot. I Know What You Did Last Summer was like a legacy ice cream sundae with all the fixins, even going so far as to bring back Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. in sidebar roles, which I called it. I told you all. Go back to any videos we talked about this. I told you all that's what they were going to be there for. But the movie is fun, dripping in blood and nostalgia. Some good kills and action sequences. Save it until the aftertaste kicks in about 2 minutes after the mid-credit scene. I'm not going to spoil that. You all, we've talked about it, so I'm not going to spoil it here. So, because I know there's a lot of people that still haven't seen this. Despite its convoluted plot, No Last Summer 25 is still a cozy mystery wrapped in shop-worn tropes and familiar faces. And yeah, that's the end of it. I haven't seen it, and I have never been secret about that. I've been very upfront. I have not seen this film. I've literally just gone on everything that's been reported on that we've talked about. Will I watch this next week? Absolutely. I'm going to rent it. I'm going to watch it. And if I'm wrong and it's far better than what I thought it was going to be, I will say I was wrong. Go watch it. It's a decent watch. But if I'm right, I'm going to dust off my soapbox and be like, I told you all, especially when it comes to Jennifer and Freddie coming back. So we'll come back. We're definitely going to come back to this one next week. But for all of those who had not seen it, now you can get it VOD or digital next week. So just want a quick update on that. All right, so let's get into now the next one. Producer explains exactly what happened with Saw 11 before Blumhouse acquired the rights. So this literally just dropped. You see the timestamp. This literally just dropped not too long ago. So we're going to get into this one. So hopefully they give us a little bit more information than what we already know, right? Two sides couldn't agree, and now one side's finally said enough. I'm selling my rights. Take it. I don't care anymore. There was a time when Saw 11 was set for a theatrical release in September of this year, but the 11th installment in the hit franchise ultimately stalled out and was eventually pulled from the release schedule entirely. Then came the bombshell that Blumhouse has acquired the franchise rights from Twisted Pictures, with the saga likely to return to the big screen with some form of a reboot rather than the more traditional sequel to Saw 10 that has been planned. Which I think that makes sense. I think that's the way to go at this point. If you want to keep the Saw franchise going, reboot it. At this point there's no reason to continue on with more and more sequels. I think it's even time, when you're at 10 films, it's time to say, hey, let's start over, or let's start over with like a new concept or a new way to tell this overall story, because I think the original set of films or story or whatever has had its time in the sun, and it's time to now move on from that. Or put it up on the shelf and let it sit for a bit, right? Let the 10 films that have been out there breathe for a while. Because we had the one even with the spin-off. I mean, it's time. It's okay. You don't have to keep cranking them out. So what happened behind the scenes that led to Saw 11 being scrapped and Blumhouse taking over the rights long held by Twisted Pictures? You might be wondering at this point. Twisted's Oren Coles has spilled the beans in a chat with Fangoria, revealing that Coles and his Twisted Picture partner Mark Berg just couldn't agree on the direction for Saw 11. All right, so let's get into some of these quotes here. Looks like he told the outlet, "My partner and I couldn't see eye to eye on Saw 11. It was the right time to sell." Okay, hopefully there's more than that. It's not a big secret. Kevin Grunter was directing. Marcus Dustin and Patrick Melton wrote. It was a great script, Coles continues. It took place about 30 seconds after Saw 10. Everybody was in. Everyone was in. Mark and I just couldn't agree on execution. Coles also makes it clear in the chat with Fangoria that Blumhouse has acquired, quote, the library, the 10 previous movies, all of the Accolades, roller coaster, escape rooms, all of it as part of the deal. And he also notes that he has no idea what Jason Blum's plans are for the franchise. One thing we do know is that Saw franchise creators James Wan and Lee Whannell will be helping to guide the future of the franchise alongside Blumhouse and Lionsgate. So I've mentioned this before. I am glad that James Wan is getting back into the fold with Saw. I think that's what it needs. I think bringing back the creators, the original creators, back into it, not to save it, but to rejuvenate it, right? Kind of bring it back to life a little bit more. Because for me, after the first few Saw films, and I've said this before, I'll stand 10 toes down on this, it felt like a lot of rinse and repeat. And that's where I lost interest. I was like, oh, I'll get it, new Saw film's coming out. Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll get to it when I get to it. Not in any rush to see it. So I am glad to see that he'll be back in the fold. Saw holds a special place in my heart, Wan said. Coming back to this world with a fresh perspective is thrilling and deeply personal. For me, this will mark a significant creative return to the franchise for the first time since the early days. And I very much look forward to embracing the original spirit whilst pushing the legacy forward in bold, unexpected ways. And that's it. So, yeah, a little bit. This is now we're hearing from the parties that were actually directly involved, and they're pretty much confirming, yeah, we just couldn't agree, we couldn't get along, and yeah, time to sell. And I'm sure they got paid pretty good for their 50% or whatever percentage that they had. I can't imagine they would have just sold it for peanuts. So I'm sure they came out well. So while we're on the topic of Saw, for those of you who are into physical media, we have Lionsgate brings Saw 2, 3, and 4 to 4K Ultra HD with SteelBook releases. So right here, if it's Halloween, it must be Saw. Lionsgate bring the first 3 Saw sequels to 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray digital this coming Halloween. October 21st, and I think I thought there was, maybe there is, I think there might be a link down below. On October 21st, Lionsgate upgrades Saw 2, 3, and 4 to 4K Ultra HD physical media and SteelBook releases that will be available exclusively through Amazon. Check out the Amazon exclusive SteelBook artwork below. All right, so we're going to do that. No, this is just synopsises about the films. We don't need to read those. We all know what they're about. So here are the cover art. So we have the first one for Saw 2. Loving it. I love it. It's nice. It's clean. I love how dark it is, how they're just really relying on the dark colors and the way that the red pops on this one. I absolutely love this SteelBook art. Way better than the Devil's Rejects one we just looked at a couple days ago. All right, so this must be the back. So this must be the J card that's on the back. I can't imagine the back of the SteelBook would look like this. This looks like this would just be the J card that would be on the back that you just peel off. All right, so now we have the next one. I like it, but I don't love this one as much as the top one, just because the blood here, it's a little bit more subtle. The red that they use for Saw 3, a lot more subtle. A lot more like beige brown colors compared to you come up here, just like that dark grays and red, right? So love the first one. Love Saw 2's cover. Not so, it's okay. I would have preferred it a little bit different. So that's Saw 3. So then we have the J card for the back. I do like that. I mean, I like the fact we've got the chains, the hands that are probably just hanging there. Yeah, I love that. All right, so Saw 4. I'm not digging this one at all because this one reminds me of the same type of style and artwork that they use for the Devil's Rejects, where it's more like a painting or like a comic art, so to speak. I'm not digging this one at all. Not one bit. Vastly different than the previous two, but not feeling this one at all. Let's keep going. So the back of the card, pretty basic. I mean, the same images we've seen for this film over and over again, so nothing new. And that is it. So I don't see that they put a link. Let's go back up a little bit. Did they put a link for these anywhere? I don't see that there's a link for these. Let me click around here. Yeah, none of these are links. So if you're looking to get these to add to your physical media collection, you'll just have to go on Amazon and search for them. But yeah, I'd say of the three, the second one is by far the best looking one. This is by far the best looking one of the three. So I know for something like this, it's hard to buy films like this in SteelBook because people who would like to have things like fully complete, it's like you have 3 films that are in SteelBook and the rest of them aren't in SteelBook or aren't in 4K or what have you. I mean, if you're going to do something like this, you would hope that now that there's not that the rights ownership is much more streamlined, you would think, hey, let's just put out a massive box set, right, of SteelBooks for this. I mean, it might be a little pricey, but do like a massive box set, and then do them all the films in SteelBooks, then sell them individually instead of just picking these 3. So, all right. So the last story we have, again, physical media. All 4 Toxic Avenger films are now on 4K HD. So for those of you who are Toxic Avenger fans and are looking forward to this upcoming remake of the film, you can now get the previous films available in a box set. All 4 films now. Let's see here. Oh, so this one has a link. So this is a link here. Films are now available individually on 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray. So let's see what this link takes us. Okay, so it takes us to Amazon. So you can see the prices here. It looks like they're about $34 a piece. I mean, that's not too bad. So you get the Ultra HD. It looks like it comes with Blu-ray. No digital copy. But I mean, that's a pretty decent price. Let's go back to the article. So it has here a list of all the special features that are going to be on each film. So let's keep going here a little bit more. Yeah, a lot of special features. I'm wondering how these will look though in 4. Oh, so we have the cover art even down here. So let's get a better look at the cover art. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a Toxic Avenger fan. I've always said that, no bones about that. But the cover art fully matches the character, fully matches the film. So I do appreciate the cover art on these ones because it represents it fully and completely. So I appreciate that. Now, I don't know necessarily about the style. It's not my style, but again, for the movie it is, for the type of horror that it is, it's perfectly fitting. So, yeah, so I'll put the links for all these articles in the description of this video. So if you want to check out, you'll have a direct link there. And I always say this every time we come across physical media. I have none of these links I have anything to do with. I don't have anything to do with the links on Amazon. I have nothing to do with the links in these articles. I'm simply just sharing the information, giving you all the links to make it easier. So if you want to go get them, go get them. So real quick before we go and wrap this one up, speaking of physical media, so a couple things we got now. I couldn't pass them up. They are 50% off. So we now have Jason Goes to Hell, the Arrow video release, and went ahead and picked up as well Jason X. I have a feeling these are going to go out of print very soon. Didn't want to pass them up, so it's the 4K HD for both. And we've talked about all 3 of these films, so I figured I'm gonna, and we cover a lot of films where they're based on novels, so I got some of them as well. Again, we've talked about some of these. I'm going to give these a quick read and then do a comparison when the films come out. So we got The Long Walk, Stephen King's The Long Walk. We've covered this film a couple of times. The trailers have come out. We've also been talking about here and there Victorian Psycho. That one they had that one recasted as far as the lead goes, but we are going to be checking that one out when it comes available. And we just recently talked about Whale Fall. I'm a little skeptical on the synopsis that we got, but I figured, hey, let's give it a try. I'll give anything a try when it comes to film and TV series. Not gonna give any prejudgment on it. So, anyways, that's gonna do it for this horror news update video for today. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think about any one of the topics, and if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we'll see you at the next one. Later.